What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Kosko with On3 Sports and continuing our wrestling series to recap the 2024 NCAA Wrestling Championships. 184-pound national champion Parker Keckeisen from UNI joining me on the program. Parker, thanks for joining me, man. Congratulations on the national title this past weekend in Kansas City. I can only imagine the welcome home back to UNI you got after the weekend.
Oh, yeah, it was a whole bunch of fun. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely, my man.
They love wrestling in Iowa.
I mean, just take me through that national final. You were just so dominant, and we'll get into that in a little bit. You just ran through that bracket, but being in that spot last year, getting to the finals, finishing second, so having been on that stage before, what changed this time around, knowing that this was your year, this was the time for you to win that national title?
I think I was just way more confident in my abilities, way more at peace with the outcome and in my faith. I don't know. I was in the situation before last year, didn't get it done, but I was familiar with the situation, familiar with the finals, and familiar opponent as well, and just trying to keep it simple and get the legs. And that's when I'm best, when I'm offensive and not just trying to hold and get wins. When I'm trying to be on the offense and get the legs and score, that's when good things happen.
You mentioned you wrestled Dustin Plott a couple times. I believe you beat him 3 times this season. Very good wrestler, seeded number 3 in this past tournament. What changes from match to match where you face the same guy that you're familiar with? I mean, are the tendencies the same? Do you change anything up? What was your approach in that final this time around?
First match we wrestled in the duel in Gallagher-Iba, it was a little bit closer match, and just feeling it out. We wrestled at Fargo, and he honestly got the best of me, and just trusting that I've got better is something. So getting that first one under the belt, getting it done was good. He took me down with the lefty IC, so making that adjustment and working on that, I don't know, every day since that tournament, or since that duel, I'd say getting there and honestly just trusting my offense and getting the legs. When I got the legs, I scored. So getting there, and the second match we wrestled, I think I didn't ride as hard, and I think that was part of the game plan. You gotta, to beat me, I think you're gonna have to give up a couple takedowns, and that's fine. Just get away and limit the time on bottom. So that was an approach, and definitely in the finals, I wanted to ride hard, and I think I rid a little bit harder, just making that choice mentally. And from match to match, I know he got better, and I was my hands had to be in the way because he's got great offense, and that's what I tried to do, and try to ride a little bit harder and stick to my thing. Like my offense is good, and just trying to be where I'm best, and not try to play into his game, and set up shots, get the legs. That's the plan, and just trusting that like my defense will be there when I am on offense, if that makes sense. It's trusting that it's gonna, like, if he shoots, I'm gonna down block, and I might get burnt every once in a while, but just trusting that we put time into my defense as well. But your offense is how you're gonna win matches, Parker.
Yeah, when you talk about something like that, you're trusting your offense, and it's like, okay, your defense is on point, but if you're a little overly aggressive and they score, were you that confident that you could score games? I'm looking at your bonus rate this entire season, 90% bonus rate, and again, your dominance this season was nearly unmatched, if it wasn't unmatched. Is that where your confidence came from, knowing that you could score a lot? So if you get scored on, it's like, okay, I'll get out and then just end up scoring again.
Yeah. So it's like if I get hit, I'm gonna hit back, and just knowing that like what's the risk? Because I'm gonna get away on bottom, and I'm gonna get away, and I'm gonna get the legs. So if I get taken down once, it's honestly good. It's not good, but it's fine, because it's all right. Now you just got to wrestle a little bit harder. You're a little bit more urgent, and I think that's one thing. Even we talked about my matches, is like just trying to be a little bit more urgent on getting the legs, like just trusting, like if I'm gonna, like, I said, not waiting for me to get taken down to start wrestling, just start wrestling right away was I think an adjustment I made throughout the year, and yeah.
Right.
I know, so I feel like that was an adjustment for the finals and the matches before, but also,
Okay.
you know what, if I'm gonna get hit, if I'm gonna get taken down, that's a
Mhm.
like I gotta trust in my head that I'm gonna not just give up, because not just give up. I'm gonna go try to get more scores.
So, Parker, I noticed during that Wednesday press conference, you're up there with a bunch of other national champions. This is before the tournament. You mentioned how you changed that mental approach in your wrestling with your offense and obviously capitalizing off your defense as well. Did you have that mentality going into the tournament for those 3 days? I noticed you were extremely stoic in your answers on Wednesday. So did you already have this confidence knowing that, okay, this is what I'm going to do to win the entire tournament?
I don't like to look ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I really try to be present, and I think that's one thing I actually kind of take for granted. Enjoying, it's easy to enjoy the matches after, like, say you All American, but it's like it's not. It's hard to enjoy those matches, that those first and second round matches, because those are some of the best matches to take. And honestly, just trying to be present. That's really what I was trying to do. I was reading It Takes What It Takes, and it talks about being neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me of just like win the next position. And Doug preaches that all the time. And I was honestly trying to win the next position. I was trying to win the press conference, not literally, but when then we like had to work out. Then it's like we had our Bible study. Then we had our team meeting. So it was like almost trying to win that next thing. And yeah, and then like once I got the wrestling time, I don't know, I made a goal after our last duel to bonus, try to get bonus the rest of the year, and I got through that goal, and it helped my mindset with just, you know, like I said earlier about just trying to not just trying to win, but just get the legs. It almost forced me to start wrestling earlier, because I think that's one thing I lack. Like I said, waiting to get taken down instead of just going out and wrestling. And so trying to accomplish that goal that, you know, I sat down, thought about, written how can I make my day to almost lead towards that goal. Like even like call my parents, get my morning routine and reading, get my spiritual, and it's like it all led towards, you know, I'll funnel it towards that's how I'm going to try to bonus. And just accomplishing that was pretty cool. And but just trying to be present. I wouldn't say I was like, that's not how I was going to win the whole tournament, but that's how I was going to win the press conference and win the weigh in, then win warm up, and just try to stay in the moment and try to enjoy it. Then it was easy. Like, you know, we've been training all year. We've been training, I wouldn't even say all year. I bet you it's 14. How many years have I been wrestling? Probably 14 years or something. It's like trying to just, you know how to wrestle. Go out there, wrestle, and good things are get the legs.
Yeah, so it's
that question, but
right. Yeah, no, you did, and then it's all led up to that point. You mentioned your coach Doug Schwab and how integral he's been to your wrestling career and your development at UNI. How much credit do you give him? And I know you mentioned you talked to him right after the press conference. You talked to him, after your spiritual study, and then after each match, and you kind of go over things. What's he meant to you in your career here in college?
Doug Schwab's my dude. He's a hell of a leader, and he cares way more about us being better people than being better wrestlers. And that's one dude that I know who has my back. He's kind of like I said in a press conference that he's like he's like 20 cherries on top, which he is, and he's more than 20 cherries, but he's always there for me. Like, we were doing some stupid workout the other day, Tuesday. We're doing fun balls. He's gonna be in the trenches with you. He's there to talk. He's there to be anything. And I also have a great coach in Lee Roper and Randy and Doug. It's like they're there. Roper's my indie coach. We spend a lot of time together. So I don't know. I got the best of both worlds with those guys. And man, you see Doug in the trenches. It's like, how can you not wrestle for that guy? You see not even Doug. Doug's the leader in the whole squad, right? He's the ringleader, and you know what? His assistant coaches also showed that. And we're going to be in the trenches with our guys. We're going to be on the mat. We're going to do the hard things with them. So he's the leader in that aspect, but it trickles down to if that I think that makes sense, right? I
Yeah,
know it does. He's,
yeah.
he's a hell of a leader. He's a man I look up to. And without him, I don't know if I'm get to wrestle on Saturday night.
So when you talk about that camaraderie, and I get the sense that it's a big family unit between you, your coaches, and obviously the rest of your teammates, I'm interested in the story that happened before the season, which is where your guys' old facility, your old gym, was closed and you guys were displaced, and now there is a new facility on the way. Just take me back to that before the season where you guys are already facing adversity where, okay, now we don't have our regular training facility. And obviously it was a historic place for your school. What was that whole process like?
Oh, it kind of reminded me like COVID.
Mm-hmm.
It's like COVID. Are you gonna and our leaders like Doug, like I said, he shows this every day, and then it trickles down to the assistants, then it trickles down to us. He told us right away he's not gonna make an excuse. Like he was on it right away. We're gonna go have this building. We're gonna go make Mat Club,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna build it. And it brought us closer together. And it started with the head of the train, the conductor Doug, and it bled down to us, and we just all bought in. And you know what? A little bit of adversity helps. A little bit of adversity helps us all, and it brought us closer together. West Gym's a great building. You had youth wrestlers trying to win to freaking NCAA champs, to Olympic champs, trying to pursue greatness in one building in one room, and we have that here too. But you know, it's like first national. I think it was like I don't know. Olympic champ in the 40s, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen the wall in a while, but it's it brought us closer together, and that's the you and I way, right? We get bad
Right.
travel, we get bad. You know, we don't have the biggest budget, and we still find a way to go out there and wrestle hard for 7 minutes. And that is what Doug preaches. That is what our coaches preach, and that is what we are all about.
So looking ahead to next year now, you do have 1 year of eligibility. It seems like you are going to use it. And of course, you know, you're you and I through and through. I saw something on Twitter. Now, just confirm this. I'm pretty sure this was you who responded to it. Someone tagged you that, are you going to get fat this summer? And I move up to 197. And you said no. Simply just said no. So I would imagine 184 is in the cards again for 2025.
Yeah, no, I'll be 84 pounds. I'm kind of looking at my cheeks right now. I have been eating a little bit too much, but it's been some time I've been disciplined. But I don't plan on going up at all. I think it's best for the team, and but if I need to go up, I'm sure the coaches will have a conversation. But I don't plan on it.
Well, 184 is going to go through you in 2025. So you are qualified now for the Olympic trials because you are a national champion. Is that in the cards as well? You're going to be competing in April and trying to make a run of the Olympic team at 86 kilograms?
Probably not, if I'm being honest.
Interesting. Okay.
I won't be there. I would say 90% I'm not going because I have a hard time chasing two rabbits. And
Right.
just being personal, I'm not good at doing two things at once. And ask my girlfriend. So I don't plan on going, but it would be a hell of an opportunity. And I hope to do wrestle some freestyle later in my career.
Okay. So right now, the Olympic and the world team, that's on hold. So that is for the future. So I do find that I find that fascinating, considering you are near the tail end of your wrestling career as well. But it seems so. So what are your off-season plans? Is it more just now, just kind of taking a step back and relaxation before you turn it up again in training? How's your off-season look from now until the next preseason?
Try to be consistent my whole time throughout the season. It's like I said something in an interview that it was if NCAAs was in the middle of August or right now, I would find a way to. I think I'd be all right. So just trying to stay consistent. I know we got guys going to U23s, and we got Taylor Luan going to Last Chance, and hopefully Olympic trials.
Mm-hmm.
He needs me, and you know what? And I love wrestling. I love being on the mat. I love learning and growing, and so I'm just gonna probably be consistent. Yeah, take a little bit of time off, but intensely, mentally, the approach. But you know, I still love getting on the mat and rolling and getting better.
So when you talk about years into the future where your world team, your Olympic aspirations are possibly there as well, when your college career is done, do you envision yourself, and I know a lot of national champs get this question, do you envision yourself in the MMA or the jiu-jitsu space at all, or do you feel like it's just wrestling and wrestling only for you?
No, MMA and jiu-jitsu does not really. Jiu-jitsu maybe. I don't really want to get hit in the face and have the opportunity.
I'm with you there.
So, but I'd definitely like to compete after. I guess I kind of get hit in the face in wrestling, but I would like to just wrestle and hopefully coach one day. And I have a construction management degree, so if those don't, I will have a construction management degree. But if those don't work out, yeah, I have that too. But I love wrestling, and I hope to be in it for a while.
I like to hear that. A couple more for you, Parker. I really appreciate your time, my man. So I was actually going to ask you about your construction management major. Now, you mentioned you wanted to get into coaching possibly down the line as well.
Yeah.
What is your ultimate plan with your major? I mean, what do you envision yourself as far as a career is concerned when you're off the mat?
Wherever God wants to take me, honestly. I don't. I try to stay in the present. I know I kind of talked about that earlier, but just be in the present, try to get better each day, whether that's my faith, my relationship, wrestling, and kind of surrender that outcome. And wherever he takes me, wherever God takes me. I'm really, I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty at peace right now. So, yeah, whatever he wants me to. I'm sure if it's construction, it's construction. If it's some completely out of it, I hope. Who knows? Mm-hmm. So I know that's a vague answer, but sorry.
No, you're good, man. It's a vague answer, but it's an honest answer. I like it. So I'll leave you here with this one now. I just recently started seeing more of your Instagram content. Your Technique Tuesday, you got food on Mondays, and your faith on Sundays. Where did all this come from? Did you spurn this idea this past year? Has this been a thing for ongoing during your time at UNI? What's that like? And I got to imagine your social media presence. I'm starting to really dig it now.
Yeah. Well, I think God's been calling me to post more. Mm-hmm. And I honestly enjoy it. I really do enjoy posting, and I think it's good publicity for our program, for me, honestly, maybe some help for camps, but I enjoy sharing that. And I know it's something like if I was a little kid wrestling that I would enjoy. So I think that's kind of the motivation behind it. It's, I want to see what a really good wrestlers eating or doing technique or some dumb stuff they're doing on Friday. It's but I'm talking about mental Mondays, and you know what, and like I learned a lot, so why not give that access to someone else, and maybe if they can benefit to their career, it's a win. And if I can share my faith, and I don't know, it's like I'm not in control of that, but if God can do something with it, it's worth it.
I like that answer. Well, Parker, I appreciate your time. Congratulations on the national title. I wish you a lot of success leading up to your final season, and then hopefully we're talking once again, and maybe we're talking again when you're a two-time national champion next spring.
I hope so. God willing.
I appreciate it. Parker Keckeisen with me right here on On3 Sports.